morning, good morning. This is kind of cool. I feel like I got my bodyguards right here between all these. Yeah. Step back. I can act tough now. Welcome to our what we call game day. Hello, everybody on Zoom, and just want to start it before we get any further. Let's give a round of applause and stand up if you're an admin, because they love the attention. Many admins, I know you're on Zoom because you probably thought you were going to do this. I do know you are, and that's okay because I saw you sneaking up to get some food. So you know what happened? Right?
She's working.
That's good. That's good. She's working.
I'm sure she is.
Very good. And real quick, welcome back, Sarah. Sarah, I'm glad you're all healed.
Thank you.
They were worried last week when we mentioned you birthed something, and it was her gallbladder. It was a C-section. So, welcome. Real quick, one more question. Raise your hand if you're an open-minded person.
I'm not raising my hand.
Okay.
Closed.
You're closed. Okay, he's closed. Good to know. We'll reference that later. So, again, welcome. This is our game day, and we have a great day in store. So much so that we have people waiting to be introduced. So, let's get started. Again, Keller Williams, great timing to talk about this. Build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Speaking of, let's leave some legacies.
That seems like a great plan. Leave some legacies, we're leaving them, bringing them,
We're bringing
having
them, leaving them,
We're
and
all good. Today's red carpet welcome. I want to welcome everybody. It is an honor to be in business with all of you, and we have a little bit of a strange problem that came up. So today's red carpet welcome will be slightly abbreviated from normal as a result of today's issue. But I want to lead off with our newest agent to join us. 3 fun facts about Riley Alexander are: she works with the twins, loves growing plants, usually kills them, and has a college degree in photography. Come on down, Riley. What's great about Riley is that she chose AWPR because she could feel the great camaraderie within the office and knew this is a place where she will have the support she needs to launch her new career. That's a real treat, Jamie. Yeah. Leave the jokes out of this, man.
Thank you.
and her husband is unbearable. Is that correct? Tell us a little something, and just don't go use his name if you see this person.
So my husband is a professional mascot, and he is currently TC Bear for the Minnesota Twins.
There you go. Thank you. That's got to be a tough spousal situation.
It's something.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Moving on, it's a big day at HHG, so we're going to welcome Ronnie Mugaki. Ronnie, if you don't know, Ronnie used to be an agent here, and he's come back after a foray into representing new construction. And he is not able to be with us at this moment. In addition, we have another new agent who's just joined us, AJ DeBellis. You know that he has multiple fun facts, living in the Philippines, played live shows in the band, certified residential garage door technician, and I know I see that request on Facebook all the time, so just call AJ.
Yeah.
But the real fun fact is right here. He wears it underneath his nose. That is a killer mustache, AJ DeBellis. All right, and with that, there are several other agents who joined recently. Nicole Jelly, Vansh Kumar, Megan Hanna, and Kat Cass, all big joiners this month, or on from there.
Yes, and AJ says the garage door business is up and down.
Hey! Ronnie's working! Get back up here! Ronnie! Get back up here! Come on, Ronnie. No, no, you gotta walk. You gotta do the walk. You gotta do the walk.
And then what?
Come on up. Come on up. Come on down.
$10 for me.
Keep going. Now, things you may not know about Ronnie, but he is multilingual, which is important around here. Cooked his first omelet at age 9 and played rugby from 13 to his late 20s. Thankfully, he's moved on to being a fan of the Chicago Bears as opposed to rugby. So we got that going on. Thank you, Ronnie. Welcome. He joined KWPR because of the cooperative culture and mindset. And what's crazy about that is he knows it because he's already lived it. And that's why he came back. Thank you, Ronnie. Glad to have you.
And Chicago Bear language is a whole other language in itself.
Go Bears!
Go Bears!
Go Bears!
Awesome, thank you all so much. Let's dovetail that into preferred play of the week, and it's Larkin 80. Let's give them a round. If you had not read that, it's super impressive. He just stepped down after 22 years of service in the Army, where he did tours in Afghanistan and Benghazi. I believe it was Benghazi. It started with a B. And it wasn't Beijing, so thank God for that, right? So, and he recently, well, he's getting his master's, but then also he just had a deal where he was the winner out of 9 offers for his client. So I think that's a huge win. Also, his son goes to my wife's school, so I had to warn him that he's an amazing guy. However, he can also rip people apart with his hands. So let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. So anyway, let's give him a round of applause. Bucket fills.
Bucket fills.
Phil.
If you don't know,
Where's Phil?
there's the bucket. It sits up at the front desk.
Just
And as you
don't
pass
kick-
by,
Just don't kick the bucket.
as you pass by, you're always welcome to drop a little line in there about your fellow agents that have helped you out over the course of the time you've been here. John, Stampede, if you could begin.
Somebody put a running vehicle.
That's a good thing to be grateful for.
Yes.
I'm
You gave us 2 grand today.
If you don't have one, trust me, you know how grateful you'd be.
Context.
Will, what do we got today?
Our ALC members for adding a layer of connectivity and inclusion that I never had in my former brokerage.
Wow. I like that. Mary, steer us in the right direction.
Jason Irvinson.
Oh,
always
gee,
going
I
to the-
know. That can't be. Did I really give you that?
Kelly's not here.
Always going the extra mile and from far away, or from afar.
What do we got?
Nicole Kelly, she is a hard worker, but always has a smile on her face.
Steve, what do you got for us today?
Well, it says, what are you grateful for and why? They didn't put a why, so I'll add one. Waking up this morning so I could be here with everybody that's here today.
Collaborative effort right there. Amber, what do we have today?
I have one that someone must have written a little while back, but we are still very grateful for what we had. It says, I am grateful for Sherry. She's always helping me and she has the biggest heart. And amen to that.
Shane, don't be corny, read us one.
All right. Kelly in her great first week in positive attitude.
And Megan, bring us home.
KW Preferred Realty team for being a warm and welcoming team.
That was nice.
Yeah, really.
I feel better.
You see the bucket? You fill the bucket. It's just what we do.
Yeah, well, thank you. Speaking of, this has been another great time for cappers. So let's give it up for Ashley and Cole. Aaron, Steve, and Amanda. LB and Christy.
Rangers here.
Let's get it up, yep. Caitlin and Corey. Isaac, Craig and Kim. And John Rohan, all right.
A lot of capping power.
It's a lot of capping power, and that's telling us that, there's a lot of you out there succeeding. And when you succeed, we all succeed, and we're grateful for your hard work. And if you haven't gotten to this cap level, we're excited to continue to help you get to that point. Because we want you, as many people get to that point as possible and beyond. Because 100% is nice.
Especially when you know you're gonna get it for a while.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Takes a little pressure off.
Sure does. All right.
Speaking of, let's go to the top agent listing sold. Sydney, Krista, Jim Lee, Barbara, Maria, and Megan. Listing sold volume, CMS, the People's Realtor Group, Burwell Group, Corns, and Amber Seaver Team. Sold volume listings, Hercamp, Red Wing, Janie's Home Team, Team Lucky Duck, Team Counters, North Star, Steer and Root, Hoagie Group, Custodio Home Group, and the Riley Home Team. Way to go, everyone. Listings are good. They're good. Top individual closed volume, all the way from Faribault, Brett, Jennifer, Kristen, look at that, back-to-back Rezac. That's impressive. We got Cindy, Jim Lee, Megan, Sydney, Krista, and Tina. Woo! Well, he just said, I've had enough, we're gonna have a dude up here. All out. All right, top team closed volume. Chad's group, People's Realtor Group, which is LV. Corn teams, Kelly Arvidsson Homes, Unity Home Teams, Amber Seaver Team, Forward Journey Real Estate Group, and Property. And closed volume, Hercamps, Lucky Duck, Red Wing, Steer and Root, Team Counters, Janie's Home Team, Integrity Home Group, Michelle Hoagland Group, Soda Home Group, and Cedar Haven Group.
That was a big march, man.
It was a big competitive march. I mean, you're competing against yourself more than anything, so you're not really competing against each other. However, there are some serious numbers.
Yes.
So way to go, everybody. Let's do the anniversaries. I heard Jason speak this morning that it's Olivia's 23rd. 2 years into her being with Keller Williams, Grace was born. Remind Olivia of that fact. So, happy anniversary to Olivia, Kurt and Scotty, Tasha, Greg Hartos, Melissa, Jason, Corey, Drake, Michelle, Stacy, Shakri, and Jennifer, Rocco, Jason, Lisa, and Eileen. Way to go, everybody.
Oh,
Wow, there's another one.
it
My gosh,
just keeps going.
We just have top profit share members. We have the Crystal Rawl. Chad Sklzacek, Kim Counters, Michelle Hoagland, David Christensen, Jen Schlack, Sarah, Amber, John, and Shannon. Thank you all for contributing. Speaking of profit share and changing lives, we have Tasha Wells, Legacy Builder. Tasha's been a generous person when it comes to, for many ways, but when it comes to reaching out to people and helping them change their lives by introducing them here. And we are so grateful for that. And we're also grateful that it's God Family Business, so she's out with her family and taking time off in Mexico. So therefore, it's a legacy builder. So when you see Tasha, give her a round of applause, or just way to go.
Yay.
Sí. Andale.
Arriba.
Arriba. Yeah, give her an arriba. So she'll be back today.
We
So,
got Misha coming on.
Mimi!
Telling us a story, Misha.
I've had so many compliments on my sweater today, and I would like to thank the lovely Mary Steer for gifting me.
Oh.
3XL.
Did you say you want it back? No take backs. So I'm up here today to talk about first dollar in real estate, and I made this house myself. Just kidding, I'm not that talented. So the first dollar is going to Leanne Kispert. She closed her first deal last Thursday, and it was a co-op with Laura here in our office. So congratulations, Leanne. And she's working on getting a listing for a hobby farm coming up soon. So if you got some people that want to be hobby farm, okay, Monique. But congratulations, Leanne. She is doing this all while having a full-time job as well. So congratulations to her.
If you sell a lot of hobby farms, your business will be stable.
Maybe.
You stay away.
Speaking of stability,
That's-
welcome, new mom.
I'm not new anymore. I'm, you know,
Are you old?
yeah, older than Grace. So that's a pro. Okay, hi everybody. I'm here to talk to you about all of the fun things that are happening as usual. So, happy Admin Day. I know we talked about it, but really we're so grateful for admins. And I was one, so I know how much you do, and really your agents are really grateful for you too, I promise. So happy Admin Day. Today we have the ALC Happy Hour happening at Chianti Grill at 4 p.m. with your ALC. So this is a great time to go connect with your ALC members, get to know them a little bit, get to know the other people in the office, and it's just a really fun time. So if you are wanting to do that, you should. Okay, we have Phil Jones coming on May 1st. I asked ChatGPT today, like, tell me some cool things about Phil Jones to tell the rest of the realtors because I don't understand why they're not signing up. And it spit out a whole bunch of really cool things, okay? But we have 7 discount tickets left for people to buy and be able to go. So if you're interested in going, you can still sign up and go, and we have some discounted tickets. If you have questions on getting one of the discounted tickets, you should see Karina. Okay? Yeah?
He also said on a call yesterday that he's probably not coming back to Minneapolis in this capacity ever. And the reason is because he's getting to the point where he's getting people to replace him doing these things. So he can just be more globalized. So,
Okay, Red Day is on May 8th. We are partnering with somebody called Cap Agency, and they have 4 projects for us. So we're gonna be splitting up for the day in 4 groups. Once everybody is signed up, in the next, week or so, we will split you up in those groups. Everyone, or every one of these projects are in our community, so it is giving where you live. There's one in Burnsville, there's one in Prior Lake, one in Eagan, and then another one that they haven't told us quite yet what it is. But it's going to be like yard cleanup for some people that are in need. There's an apartment building that needs some painting, touch-up, some things outside, all of these kinds of things. And it's going to be really just a great day to give. And we are also having a breakfast here in the morning. It'll be really light, little coffee, maybe bagels kind of thing at 9 a.m. so that we can meet here. Everybody can get on the same page. We'll go out to our projects that you're assigned to from 10:15 to 3. And then we're having a happy hour at Charlie's on Pryor from 4 to, I don't know. Some people leave at like 3 a.m., I guess. So, yeah, so it's going to be a great day. This year, we are also doing personalized to KWPR Red Day shirts. So, everybody, well, not everybody, but most of us have a Red Day shirt if we've been with KW for a while. They're great, but these are even better. So, they're made by our one and only Grace, designed them. It'll have the date, Red Day, and then what I think is really cool, it'll be a lot easier to see on the actual shirt itself, but for those of you that know Mo Anderson, she's referred to as the Velvet Hammer. So we did a little play on that with like a hammer, and then it says Mo Anderson in the handle, which I think is really cute. So you can scan this QR code or the QR code that's on your table, or you can find it in the Facebook group, and we're also going to be sending out an email. So there's no excuse not to get signed up. The whole Keller Williams is like not completely shut down, but everybody takes the day to go and give back to their communities. So in the past, we've had really great turnout. We have spots available for 40+ people, so please sign up and let's help these people. And I'm sorry, yep, I knew that was that.
Good job.
Yeah,
All right, well,
yeah,
thank
Lisa.
you.
What if you can't make the whole day, but you want to be part of it? Can you still do it?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, of course. Yep.
That's really what the hammer is for, that's for Charlie.
Close it down.
Yes, you can, if you have to, you can go to this part of it or this part of it. That's, the hammer is for happy hour, so those who just get to 3 a.m. So, that being said, hey, let's give a warm welcome to Jason Bloom with Cinch Home Warranty. Jason. Rumor has it you're providing lunch.
Yes, yes.
Oh, we like them even more.
Oh, thank you for having me here. Jason with Cinch, been with Cinch for, what, 1.5 years, I think now. And just wanted to quick today, for those of you that don't know Cinch, one thing that's unique about us, we are the only home warranty company that offers 2 different plans. We have an in-network plan where you file a claim and our network of providers comes out and does the service. We also have an out-of-network plan. You may be familiar with the kind where you file a claim and the homeowner chooses the person that comes out and does the work. If you like that kind of a plan, take a look at ours. We have higher coverage limits than our competitors. So that's the one unique thing about us. If you want to talk about coverage, just either download my card via the QR code here or text JBloom to this text number right here, and we'll take that offline. I wanted to take a couple minutes quick here to tell the story about why I sell home warranty. So last October, I was going through the people in the cities that use a lot of home warranty, and I came across a gentleman. He's with a brokerage out on the east side of the cities, and as of last October, he had done 46 warranties with me. And I invited him to lunch, we sat down, and I said, why? Why are you doing this? And I looked up his numbers. He had done 82 sides at the end of October. And when I talked to him, he said his goal for the year, 2024, was to do 100 sides and make $1 million. And at the end of October, he had already done 82 sides. And I said, why are you selling warranty? And he said, well, I want the transaction to be smooth, and I want my list side customers, my clients, to not have any problems. He said, I don't want to have to deal with fixing a faucet. I don't want to own a dryer in Chanhassen. I don't want to have to buy a water heater in White Bear Lake. Anybody out there have to do that to close a transaction, like that last minute kind of thing to get across the finish line? He said, I don't want any of those problems. He said, it's more for me to have that security to make the transaction go smooth. He said, I build a team, I've got a mortgage guy, a title person, an insurance guy, and I was looking for that home warranty person that I could trust to get all of this stuff done. So that was what was in it for him. He finished the year at 92, so he didn't make it to his 100 goal. So far this year, he has done 16 warranties with me so far already, and this is all on the list side. His sellers pay for it, he believes in it, that's what he does. And it's not always on the list side either. I've talked to people right after family reunion. R4 was right after that. I sat down with the Remax agent, and his thing was, I want to pay for it. He builds the value of it. He uses it as in kind of a structured, like 6.5%, 7.5%, 8.5% value prop. I include it in the higher levels. I want to use it, and I use it to close deals. Like, if we go at the top and you sign today, I'll throw it in for free and use it as a marketing piece to get the deal done. So it doesn't always have to be used on the buy side to get the deal closed. He uses it as part of his listing presentation to get those done. So,
Awesome.
cool.
When you see Jason as you're grabbing food, please introduce yourself and thank him. And yeah, Jason, known him for a little bit now, and he's a pretty good dude.
I answer my phone. That's what people are always, they're like, answer your phone. That's the bar. I
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I used to do the same thing. I'd pay for the home warranty, but when I work with my buyers, I would have it here. And then if they weren't quite signing, which is more important now, they sign, I'd have that caveat, say, look, if I throw in a home warranty, we get started today. They want that, they don't wanna miss out. So, and by the way, tomorrow, for those of you who are participating, here are the tree lings that we've got going. So in honor of Jason Bloom, these are what the kits look like, and we will be giving those to you
Those
today.
look like a cinch to plant.
Whoa! Should we keep going?
Oh, boy.
No, they want us to leave them alone.
Yeah, I can't guarantee or warranty that it won't stop, so. All right, well, let's move forward. So Jason, so we had a team meeting ready.
We did.
And we decided after listening to, we had a special call with leadership with Phil. And he taught us 4 things, and I'm like, and Jason, we looked at each other and like, okay, we're restarting, we're resetting. Because it's just too important. And this is really a time and place, not just that he's coming here, but this is a time and place where maximizing on those moments is more important than ever before.
How many times we said it's a skills-based market or in that place? And this is just straight skills, and they're transferable skills beyond real estate. But let's be honest, you're in the room because it's real estate. And we're gonna focus on that today. I think it's really, I went home after just listening to him for a half an hour, and I said, Kelly, I know you're going to Phil Jones, but you need to switch that and go to the VIP thing. Because you're gonna get the value back easily. The amount I got in just 30 minutes with him was enough to make me go, well, I already have a ticket, so, well, whatever. But at the end of the day, so impressed that I knew we had to change the meeting. And I can't say enough about the guy. Jamie mentioned he won't be coming back to Minnesota. He's English, you know, whatever that means. So I mean, it's a long way to Minnesota. So he's probably not coming back to Minnesota, not because anybody did anything wrong, but just, it's Minnesota. You know, we can't even get our own college grads to go to University of Minnesota, so why would he come here from England? So, you know, that's got that going on. But I'm excited to get talking about what he talked about. We broke down to what his conversation with us into 4 basic parts. So Jamie and I are gonna talk a little bit about that, but Jamie has a question for you.
Just, real quick, so remember when I asked you if you're open-minded? Those are one of the magic words, which are questions. They're really questions. And if you want your client to hear 50% of what you have to say, you just say what you're gonna say. If you want them to hear 90% and digest more, you start with, hey, are you open-minded too? That's how these open the door for more communication and curiosity. So Jason, what's this about the 30, 60, 90 days?
So one of the things, he opened up the presentation, I thought was really valuable, and we're gonna talk about a bunch of different things, but as a realtor, the first question, even when I meet newest realtors, is are you playing the long game? And I understand why when you first get started in real estate, and it really is, let's get focused on that first deal, right? And so we gotta talk about that in that perspective. But most agents think in a 30, 60, 90-day business plan cycle. That's the thought process, my 30, 60, 90-day pipeline. And what he mentioned is top agents really look at it from a 30, 60, 90 month. People move every 7 to 10 years. How long are you planning to be in this business? And if you're planning to be in the business for a long time, your relationship with them and value changes distinctly. And in the end, if you want to capture your sphere, the relationship is the part that matters. And if you're chasing quick wins, it's how you get into difficult situations like, I don't like to make my lead gen calls because they're not fun, they're not interesting, they're not compelling, they're just get in, get out, they're not about the longer term relationship. They're about finding quick wins versus building long-term trust. So if you answer yourself and you say, how long do I plan to be in this business? If the answer is years, you're gonna build out a lengthier pipeline. And know that in the process of building that pipeline, you're still gonna discover the short wins. You're still gonna find the 30, 60, 90 days. But if you're not thinking strategically 30, 60, 90 months, you're gonna have a challenge. And as you guys know, I nominally pretend I play at being a realtor, but I let my wife do all the work. And she does a fantastic job with that, so that makes perfect sense. But I will tell you that every single one of the leads that I passed to her last year were entirely long game leads. That I've been working with them in different ways and oddly enough, doing exactly what Phil Jones said, even though I didn't know that I was doing it all along. And that is what converted these people. The style of this relationship and the style of the presentation is what converted these people, because I was always looking at it long term with them. Sorry, can you flip for me? Not that. Slide that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thanks.
You say flip you what?
The thing about it is, and we really get down to it, your clients know more than you think. Most clients know when or where they expect to move in time. If you were to ask me, and you were directly ask me, where am I gonna move next? I would tell you Tennessee. And I could tell you when I retire. But the surprising thing is most agents don't know that about the clients they consider to be most important. And that's an example of that short-term thinking. If you don't know where their next move is and you're in the moving game, can you see how that might be a disconnect, right? So it's important to know that next step. And if I'm engaged in that process, I can absolutely think about that. So instead, things that you can ask, when do you think your next move might be? Just this very simple question. It puts it in a frame of reference, simple question, they're gonna give you an answer. Is there a dream neighborhood you've always had your eye on, right? Because I'm in my house, I kind of like it, but man, is that where you always wanted to be? Sometimes it's not. And if you ask those questions, they know where or when they might want to move. I mean, Amber, how long did it take before, you were living there and you built your new house? I mean, that wasn't just like one day you said, oh my, I want to build a new house in a completely different town, which is sort of the same, but that wasn't how it went, right? I mean, you had thoughts about this. You imagined what it would look like. You knew what that next house would have and roughly what you wanted it to be. Your clients are the same, but we're not talking about that because we're so tight on this right now, 30, 60, 90, that discussion never gets a chance to play out. So if you plant seeds to grow into closing over 6, 12, or 24 months, would that be a problem if somebody came back to you 2 years from now and said, hey, remember we had a discussion, I want to do that house in? Would that be a problem for anyone here? Of course not. So we need to think about conversations and focus on conversations and quality conversations, not just on the lead. Focus on relationships over transactions. And every person I've met in here believes in relationships over transactions. Every person I've met in here considers himself a relationship builder, not a transaction doer. But are you thinking about that relationship over the course of your real estate career? Or are you thinking about it is, I want to build a relationship so I'm there next time? And you don't know when next time is, because we didn't ask. That's the power of what he's talking about here. Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, well, here, I'll introduce this. I know my drawing kind of makes something look kind of weird, but here, just bear with me. If you were here for Jen Toomer, when she talked about the 36 touch, this is the cycle of a client, right? This is the 30, 60, 90 day. If we're focused on every day waking up and trying to find someone in this, that's a pretty stressful life. Right? Versus the 30, 60, 90 months. So the vision is, let's catch them here and stay with them. So as they get here, I'm collecting more people, here they are again. So it builds. Since we talked Twins, the analogy I like to use, because I never talk baseball, baseball analogies, is when you're stressing to try to hit the home run, you miss out on a lot of singles and doubles, which lead to many more runs over time. So we hope that what we share with you today will help alleviate some of that pressure and maximize on the times that you're up to bat, so that this just keeps growing and you can become, if you choose to, like the realtor that you had mentioned there, Mr. Bloom.
And understanding that if you're focused on that longer time frame, you won't miss the shorter time frame ones. It's just the other way around that's the problem.
And then
Focus on the
it's,
short term, you miss the long term ones. But the long term ones, if you're focused on that, you'll pick up the short term ones along the way. They're still there. You won't miss them.
home run hitters try to hit singles, and they happen to hit home runs. It's kind of weird to think about, but that is how they do it. Did you know?
I'm turning upside down, sir.
Turning upside
My
down.
brain is just messed up now.
Oh, okay, good.
Except for when
But that is the case. So, also, that's when commission breath jumps in, right? When we're trying to make these calls to connect with people, I need a deal right now. Versus if they're talking with, you're speaking with you and you're sounding like you are going to have a business for a long time, they're going to be more comfortable giving you business because they know you're secure in your business. Well, this is an example. It's a 3-part conversation framework. So this is for contacting all the people in here that we spoke of that are, again, they move every 7 to 10 years. Well, maybe not. So you're reaching out to them, and this is how Phil likes to get it going. So it's an opening line, or an opening, fact, question. And it's very simple once you get the cadence. Now, those of you listen, are on Colin's calls, he has his cadence. It's felt, fact, feel, fact, found, right? Or felt, found. Right, is that right?
Yep.
That's your template. And he's mastered it. How often do you practice that?
Daily?
Daily for how long, probably? Business day-wise?
Well, practicing 15 minutes, putting
15
into
minutes.
practice.
15 minutes, 5 days a week?
Yep.
For how many years?
10.
So when we listen to Colin, we can expect that we can't play at that level unless we put in the reps, right? Right. And that's just what the event, who was here at the event the other day that we had with the carts? Remember, the corns? Yeah, John, you guys were all here. It was tough at first, wasn't it? But it got easier. So it's just getting used to having a cadence. Opening line can be as simple, again, it's to spark curiosity, lower resistance. If I have a relationship with Jason, I can just say, hey, Jason. I mean, that's really enough. Start. Hey. And then you go into the mutually agreeable fact, and we'll come back to that. Most people like to know what their home is worth. Even, this is calling a lead, more so, right? Yeah. So, hey, Jason, most people like to know what their home is worth, even if they're not selling. So that's an agreeable fact. So now it's okay. So now before when we did the walk with me versus push, their natural tendencies to want to push right away. This helps you start walking with them, or at least start walking with you. And then, hey, would it be okay if I sent a quick value update?
I don't see why not. Sounds quick,
It's pretty simple.
easy. I'm in.
Yeah, and that opens the door to anything else. Again, he says most people like to be like most people, or they like to at least consider themselves normal. That's what that's saying. Most people are normal. And we all know that's not true. Or another one, would it be crazy to think? Well, this is an important one for this part right here, the 7 to 10 years in between the singles that you're hitting, is, hey, Tricia. Hi, Tricia.
Hi.
You know, it's almost been 4 years since you bought your home now, right? I mean, you have to, that's it, right? She has to agree, right? And then you move into, well, what's changed since you bought? So it could be, you know, I changed my kitchen around, I did X, Y, and Z, I had a kid, whatever. Not you, I mean, in general.
Not you.
So the goal of this isn't necessarily to get them to buy or sell right now, but now you've got data when you call them back again. Hey, it's been 90 days since I last spoke. It's been around 3 months since I last checked in, right? Hey, how does the X, Y, and Z go for you? It's just whatever question you want to have at that point.
I think oftentimes too, we get a little concerned about calling people we haven't talked to for a long time. Any agent I've ever talked to who says, I don't like to call them, I haven't talked to them in a long time, it's weird, it's uncomfortable, I don't know what to say. And if we're honest with ourselves at that point, it's kind of like, well, I feel like I need to apologize right off the bat. Starting off with a conversation with apology isn't the best way to start a conversation. So instead, I'm just gonna acknowledge it right off the bat, right? I mean, in this case, I can change it just a little bit. It's been almost 4 years since I talked to you. It's been a few years since we talked or chatted. It's perfectly fine just to acknowledge it. Look, they took your call. This is 2023. The caller ID said who you were and they chose yes. Yeah, Misha points out it's 2025. That's the crazy thing. They said yes, you don't have to worry about that part. Because they've already agreed to talk to you. They want to hear what you have to say. That's why they hit the green button. And if they hit the red button, who cares? You never know what they thought. They could be in the bathroom. It's okay. So that whole thing, just acknowledging right off the bat, takes some of that pressure right off you. Hey, it's been a couple years since we talked, Sarah. Not really, because I just talked to her this morning as I tried to avoid, her gaze. But the whole deal works that by acknowledging it, it kind of takes that pressure off of you. The pressure that you're feeling that you haven't done it. But they already have agreed to talk to you. And they hit that green button, they said it's fine, it's okay. And so then, moving into what's changed since you bought, it's just such a simple question. Because I'm being led down the path and we're agreeing about your house, and we're agreeing that we're talking about my house, yeah, what's changed? Oh man, we've done this or we've done that. Or they may take it in a completely different direction. You know what? My son just graduated from high school. We're having a great time. I mean, you never know what direction it's gonna do. It's an open-ended question that allows them to talk about what they want to talk about, which is important to building a relationship.
And anyone ever asked, hey, how's it going? I mean, or if you've been asked that, how do you answer?
Good.
Right? However, if you give them a specific,
Yes.
man, it's been almost 4 years. What's been new since then? That's a different conversation. That's a different thought you put in their head. What has been different since then, even though it is a long time? However, it's just.
Maybe it isn't. I don't know. If
4
I've known you
years.
for 40 years, then 4 isn't that long.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Well, and here's the example in itself, but like we just talked about. Hey, this is Jamie Ogden, Keller Williams. It's your 4-year home anniversary, right? What's changed since you moved in? And let them talk. Let them talk. So it's not pushy. It leads to natural real estate conversations, and it opens it up to more value-based follow-up because you are now following up with value information about what they just shared.
Yeah, so when you say that, it says open the door value-based follow-up, what does that mean? What's an example of that, Jamie? Like if I say what's changed since I moved since I moved in, Jamie, we redid the kitchen. How does that open the door to value-based follow-up?
Because now you know that they've upgraded their home and they may have no idea that they have massive equities. You could follow up with that angle, or they may tell you that they had a kid and didn't have a kid. There's a lot of things they can tell you that you can turn into a value opportunity.
I think there's also a place where their response can elicit something you can provide to them. So, oh, you're right, I just remodeled my kitchen, awesome, you have plans to do on the other parts of the house. Well, yeah, we're thinking about the basement, but it's kind of expensive. Great, I have some tools, I know some people, I know things. You can start providing actual answers to the situation based on the questions that they come up with. What's changed? You know what, I've got 2 kids now. I didn't have 2 kids when we moved in, I've got 2 kids. Okay, well, you know what to do with that one, but do yourself a favor, do not Tommy Boy this, don't tear up the biscuit. Just have a human conversation with them. Just talk. They have 2 kids. Talk about the kids. Don't talk about they need to move into a new house. They know that. They'll get there. Be pleasant. Ask their names. Stampede. Get their names. Get the kids' names. Write them down. So next time you talk to them, you can ask about the kids. They love that. So it opens the door by finding out more information. And you want to be able to provide that, which is why it's so important that you have a vendor list so that you can provide services, Oh, you wouldn't believe this. I've loved this house, but man, there is just something weird about the basement. It gets some dampness in there. Well, I've got some ways that we can help out with that. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I know some people who can help. Open the door and go through, that's the goal, is to get the conversation going and flowing.
Thank you. And then this is a new one he spoke of. This is the typical how's the market question. I think we all get this, and if you don't get this from time to time, then you need to go back to this part and get in conversation with more people. And if you're in conversation with more people, you run into people and they'll say, hey, how's the market? Now, Phil calls this a listing in disguise, and it's for him, it's not just small talk, it's a window of opportunity. For them, it might be small talk at first. It's kind of like saying, hey, how's the weather? If I call someone and they say, oh, they're in Alaska, I'm gonna, hey, how's the weather? I don't really need to, I'm not really asking them, I'm relating with them, right? I don't really wanna know the weather, I can look it up. Right, I can go, okay, it's below 40 right now. And,
But it's a
however,
commonality. It's a way to start the conversation,
yeah,
right?
they just wanna have a conversation, it's casual, it's loaded with curiosity. So he says, what's really behind it? They're just being polite, they're testing your knowledge maybe, or maybe they're quietly planning their next move and just testing you a little bit. They say treat it for what it really is. It's a soft, I might be thinking of selling, so how do we do that?
But they might not be.
They might not be too.
And again, we go back to my buddy Tommy Boy. This is where we rip up the biscuit, right? We want to give them that old line about, well, it's always the right time to buy the right piece of property. And immediately there's that commission breath feel. Ooh, why did I say that? Last time I said they did the same thing. That's not the place you're going to live and work and be successful with people who are on guard. If they haven't talked to you for a while and suddenly you're calling, and then they ask how the market is, and you immediately jump into one of the most salesy lines that's ever been invented. We're all normal. We don't want the sales call anyway, right? They said yes. Let's get back to being a human and talk to that human part. They might be thinking it's the right way to sell, and we need to get there. We can't ignore the question. We don't pretend like it didn't exist, because it does have value. It's real, it's there. But grabbing the biscuit and tearing it up, that ain't what we need to do. You take a look at, take a deep breath, think about what just happened, and move on to the next slide. No, that's where you move on to the next slide.
Yes, but I was thinking, we need to probably, in the future, have that segment of Tommy Boy and play it.
Cute.
Most of the people that haven't seen that.
All right. So, there we are, right? We're not gonna say what it is. We're not gonna do it. Why do you ask, right? That's one of those, it
Well,
comes through.
that's something that we often say, that's a good thing to respond though, right? Well,
Right.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Really, yeah, well, why do you ask? What's important to you about that? Those are okay things. However, yes, if you say it, hey, it's like saying, how's the weather? Why do you ask? I mean, it's, right? That's combative. It puts them on the spot. It's awkward. It shuts the door. However, it talks about creating a curiosity gap. So, Jason, how's the weather?
And snowy.
So, see, back to, how's the market?
So instead,
Interesting.
yeah, and
That's
it's
the
not,
response. I'm like, what? I was like, what's he talking about?
it's not even just what you say.
It's how you
Because
say it.
we'll do it again. Go ahead. How's the market?
It's interesting.
Versus the less effective way. Jamie, how's the market?
Well, anytime's a good time to buy or sell. It's your time for you.
Sure. Oh, we can flip that around because I want to show you, I want to talk about what I was getting at. So
Which one?
ask me.
Oh, how's the market?
It's interesting. So does it. Jamie's, it's interesting. You had to think about it. You had to pause about it. You had to think about it. You had to reflect on it versus just a quick, hey man, it's interesting. Because that's not effective. What is effective and what we're trying to do here in this place, he talks about this, disarming them, creating a moment of chaos, invites them to lean in and ask more. That pause, market is, it's interesting. Already in your mind, you're like, well, tell me, I want to know what's interesting about it. That's not what I expected to hear at all. I expected to hear some cheap salesman in line, or you just say it was good. But instead, by going, it's interesting. You want to know why. You want to know why. Some of you in the chair right now are thinking, what's interesting about the market right now? What am I missing? And that's what the point of that is we want to actually encourage the conversation versus the traditional sales approach that would say, it's always the right time, buy the right piece of property, which is true. but that sounds salesy. It's interesting, invites you to want to know. And that's really what we're trying to do, is extend the conversation.
Now you're controlling the conversation.
That sounds crazy, I don't know if I like that, that's all sales. I just wanna have a
You're
better
controlling
conversation.
it by
You're right,
by
it
turning
does. It absolutely
turning it
does
from-
control the
You're turning it from 50% to 90%.
Yes,
Now they're leaning in.
now they're leaning in instead of going, I don't know where we're going with this. So, super exciting to do that. What do we got next? So, one of the other things he talks about.
This is Jason's favorite.
Because this is how I like to talk, right? Forgetting the pitch and going to the rant. When we talk about our elevator pitch, right? What do? Why am I in this business? Man, I am in this business because I want to help people find a home. It's important, it's useful, it's exciting. Man, I love helping people navigate through the difficulties of challenging home buying experience so that they have a comfortable life. Believe me, I'm a believer in starting with why. But oftentimes, it is too polished. It's generic, and it sounds rehearsed. And if it sounds rehearsed, you tune out. You just do. Rehearsed language doesn't feel comfortable when we hear it, because it feels like a sales pitch. The elevator rant is raw, it's real, it's relatable. People can understand that. And it speaks to the frustration that your audience already feels, and it shows that you understand them, not what's going on. So, with an elevator rant, you're gonna start with a couple different phrases that kind of start an elevator rant. You know it's frustrating, you know how frustrating it is when it drives me crazy when I can't stand seeing people who, it really grinds my gears, stuff like that. They're all great ways to start the rant. Go ahead and flip it for me if you would. So instead of saying I help buyers and sellers navigate the real estate market with confidence, Stampede, you know what drives me crazy? Is I know that there are landlords out there who are driving up their rents every month, right? Their mortgage isn't going up, but they increase the rent on their people all the time. And what really drives me crazy about that is the renters aren't even building any equity. They're just paying off the landlord's mortgage. So the landlord is getting more revenue. The landlord is having his mortgage paid, and the renter just ends up continually paying into this process, never really getting ahead. It just drives me crazy, right? So that is a completely different conversation, and two things are important about that rant. John, while I was talking to him, I'm not ranting about John. He's not the subject of the rant. But I know John's situation as a renter, and I'm ranting about something that I know that he has, where we're gonna have this common space. And so a lot of people have come to classes recently and said, man, I wanna make a TikTok, but I don't know what to talk about. This is a perfect example of a place that fits in very well. And in fact, all of the things that you talk about in developing a TikTok or a reel or whatever sort of social media post you wanna make, this is prime social media stuff. Because that's the thing that people tune into. It has all the hooks that you want, right? Ooh, what really makes me mad is, what really makes me feel bad is, I know it invites you, John, to go, that sucks. It does feel bad. And when I mentioned earlier all the leads that I've passed on to Kelly, every one of these people in my life who I passed on to Kelly has been involved in listening to me do this exact thing before. Oh, how's work? You know what really drives me crazy? You know what really drives me crazy is people who are told by the news media that they can't afford to buy a home, but haven't really looked into the process. Because I found that when they look into the process, it's actually easier and more affordable than they've been led to believe. That's a rant. That's completely different than me going and saying, oh, I'm gonna tell people buy and sell real estate, right? It's a whole different thing. And what it does is invites them to come to your side. And so each of these longer term leads that I'm talking about that I've handed over, I've developed over time because they've listened to 2 or 3 of these rants and finally went, you're right. I'm tired of being in this space. And your rant gives me the energy to change. Now, you're not asking me I do it on my own. What you're saying is sound, and I agree with you, Crazy Jason. And I want to do that thing too. And this is a whole process that you can use on a regular basis to interact with people, to change, help them change, help them see the need to change into a different space. Now, not everybody is going to be able to deliver that the same way. Obviously, as we've joked about or seen, or you've interacted with me in any way, you run away, you said, Rand, oh, he's going to be on that. That is all about him. But you can use it in the same way because you each encounter those things that frustrate you. All you have to do is translate it into a solution for your clients. That translation is what matters. And especially if you're using this as a TikTok thing or things like that, you're going to get lots of people you've never seen or heard, don't interact with on a common basis, and they go, I know what that guy's saying. I feel that way too. And that's how those things grow and spread. And it's just a way that people talk. People love to complain. And they like to hear other people's complaints so they can agree and feel, we talked about earlier, part of a bigger group. The challenge that you have when you're using this system is not to make the rant about the person. You know what I hate, John? I hate it when people call me for a tech solution and they haven't even turned on or off their computer. That is an unhelpful rant, right? That is unhelpful. But you know what grinds my gears is it seems like every time these manufacturers make a computer and the software gets all jammed up, they don't have a simple restart button. Why wouldn't they just have a restart button? It's the same thing, same issue, but I'm planting the seed in your mind that, oh, maybe I should just restart if I don't like that problem. Instead of making you the victim, somehow it's your fault that the computer is dumb. It's not your fault, it's not your problem. Your problem is what's the solution? Preventing you the solution by making it about somebody else. And the rant helps you do that.
Yeah, and you could take, like Colin's call yesterday, you could take, we put together notes afterwards, we put it in social media, we put it in the email. You could take the bullet points there and make a rant on social media. Obviously, you don't need to, you know, grinds my gears, you do that unless that's your personality. However, you know, yesterday was about, I want to wait for the rates to go down. And he did a great job of articulating, well, it's like a teeter-totter. You know, if the rates go down, that means prices go up, that means we're waiting and you're waiting and now it's 10, 20% more, whatever it might be by the time you go into that house, or that you're buying that much less house later because the price went up. So it really, gosh, you know, one thing that really bothers me and is difficult in our industry is when people choose not to shop because they really want to buy a house based on mortgage rates, when that means if they're up, there's buying opportunities. If it's down, it's harder to move to the next property. However you want to say it, that's a great TikTok.
You know, it's really sad that there are so many people out there right now who are sitting on a pile of equity in the home and deferring their dreams of what they really want. And in that process, what they're not realizing is that the dream that they're trying to capture, they wish that they had while they're sitting on this equity, is getting further and further away from them because of the appreciation of home pricing. And so that dream never gets fulfilled. That's so disappointing. It's exactly the same thing as the rant without the ranting, right? You can be disappointed. You can express that very clearly to somebody, especially when you know what their pain point is. And that's such an important part of your real estate presentation, is understanding their motivation and their pain point, right? It's so disappointing to me that people will forego moving into that dream or that neighborhood that they've always wanted to be a part of because they're worried that interest rates might be better next month. Well, if they're better next month, you can always refinance. But that house that you looked at and you thought was really cool, that might not be there next month. And if it is there next month, there's a solid chance it's going to cost more. So it really disappoints me when people get caught in that short-term thinking, when there's a longer-term solution. That if they took that approach, they'd just be a lot happier and be closer to what they want. And that's the whole part of the rant. The whole series of the rant doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, Jerry Seinfeld, I'm angry about what this looks like. But it could be very simple, very articulate, and a really simple way to connect with people that truly connects with what bothers them without actually having to say it or confront them in that sort of way. And like I said, this is how I've generated all my leads. I didn't even know it. Like this guy's talking, I'm like, That's all my leads. You're stealing my playbook, man. You know what makes me steamed is when Phil Jones steals my playbook. That's not right. But
Sign up for May 1st.
what I loved about that presentation, all in all, realistically speaking, is Jamie and I can play act at being Phil Jones. We can absolutely do that, and we've just done that for half an hour. But there is nothing compared to hearing it from him. He is clear, he is articulate, he has spoken this, he has done this and practiced this numbers and numbers and numbers and numbers of times. He has taught this, he has written books, he is clear on his subject matter, and the subject matter directly influences your ability to make an income. And it surprises me that when I got home, I was so excited about this particular thing. I'm like, man, we listened to Phil Jones for half an hour. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of Phil Jones. And I'm like, yeah, but dude, it was amazing. In a half an hour, it was just amazing. And she goes, okay, I know I'm going, but do you really think I should sign up for the VIP? And I'm like, I gotta be honest with you. And I work for the Market Center, and I know it's gonna sound like I'm being a shill, and you guys know that I represent Command, but I never tell you should use Command unless it fits. I can't see not going to the VIP. I really can't. The extended time, the amount that you're gonna learn, the value you're gonna get in exchange for one portion of a day is there. And the amount that it would cost you to do this in any other way or any other place is insane. I mean, $5,000 plus plane ticket plus overnight stay. He'll come to you. He won't be back in Minnesota. I mean, God bless. It's a great place, but not people who live on the coasts don't see it that way. So, and he lives not only on the coast, but like on the coast of another coast. So it's a great chance. I really recommend that you, if you can do it, you should do it. There shouldn't be a question in your mind if it's worth it, because I promise you it is.
Wonderful. Well, I think we should wrap it up. One thing that's interesting is your Kelly, I think she did or someone did, they put the Tommy Boy clip in the chat. So let's grab our food, and those of you who want to understand what he rants and raves about with the Tommy Boy clip, we will play that.
Tommy Callahan's my guy.
I want to say thank you, and again, if you listen to a lot of people who are highly successful, the 1% a day growth builds over time, and the Phil Jones one should multiply it by 10 and just 1 day. So, thank you all. Come grab some food, stay for connectors, go to happy hour. Who doesn't want to be happy? Thank you online.
This is where we point out that the volume isn't working today. I know you're doing the drawing. Sorry, go ahead. But with, generally speaking, like 9 people back and forth. But like,
I'm headed
So you gotta be licensed in 3 states.
Yeah.